Good evening. Oh, sorry. What? Oh, good evening. Okay. Um, I call to order the meeting of July 9th. All members except Gary Sides is not here tonight. Okay. Next up is the pledge.
Shall stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next up, I need approval of the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. 8-0. Okay. Next up is public guideline comments. Okay. At every regular meeting of the board, up to 60 minutes have been allotted for public comments. The board will not respond to public comments. However, a member may ask that the chair obtain clarification. Residents, parents, students, and employees of the district will receive priority on the list of speakers. If a speaker is not present when his or her name is called, the opportunity to speak will be considered waived. Only persons signed up may speak. Speakers may not give their time to another person or have someone speak on their behalf. Speakers may address the board for a maximum of 3 minutes. The board will not hear in open session complaints about the performance of school personnel issues, confidential student issues. Should a speaker wish to seek information or share items that may not be shared during public comments, members of UCPS cabinet staff are available to address your concerns or provide information. Cabinet staff members are seated at the table to my left. First up is Lauren Barnes.
Hey. My name is Lauren Barnes, and I work at Monroe High School. I've been employed with UCPS for about 16 years. I've come tonight to present a couple of ideas that I think will benefit our Monroe cluster students during the long summer breaks. There are 5 reasons why our students will benefit from having a year-long continual learning program: supervision and safety, continued learning, nutrition, social and emotional support, and community engagement. Currently, UCPS and other local nonprofit organizations provide free meals and food bags to our community during summer break. There are some CTE enrichment programs available and academic programs for those who have not yet made proficiency or need to make up credit hours. However, I think we can do more. My first idea is to incorporate a year-round calendar schedule for the Monroe cluster schools. When UCPS piloted this program in the past, they found it to be very successful. This year-round model provides smaller breaks throughout the school year, giving us an opportunity to host enrichment and remedial camps all year, giving us an opportunity to host, I'm sorry, I read that. However, one of our biggest challenges that I do see with this plan is managing high school athletics schedule. Changing one cluster to year-round will be a very costly change as well. So I do recognize that, and so I've come up with another plan. In Plan B, we create a comprehensive strategic plan for those rising 8th through 12th graders that are in need of academic recovery. This summer program will contain students that need to make up credit hours, attendance recovery, and those that Monroe High and Monroe Middle School invite. 6 weeks, 6 groups on a rotation schedule. We will continue and incorporate our already established credit recovery program, but include a variety of mini sessions throughout the day as well. Providing a snapshot of our CTE programs for these students will give them a chance to try different trades like carpentry, electrical, culinary arts, and more. The last part of the day, using our helpful community volunteers, will focus on nurturing social and emotional support. and community engagement by bringing in motivational speakers, offering leadership building sessions, and incorporating service projects for the students. Other ideas are team building through sports, resume building skills, growing a community garden, and more. Perhaps even using this model for multilingual learners is a great idea as well. Imagine offering students who speak very little English a chance to get ahead during the summer months.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Selena Campbell.
It has come to my attention that UCPS does not observe the federal Juneteenth holiday, and that's concerning for me. If anyone should be observing Juneteenth, it should be our educational institutions. Black history is often left out of American history because we're scared to address our original sin of slavery. American history needs to be taught in its entirety because we're doing a disservice to our citizens. It's sad and embarrassing that other nations and countries know more about our history than we do, which creates a false sense of supremacy, but overall ignorance. Slavery was such a heinous, wicked, and inhumane act indeed. My ancestors were captured, tortured, murdered, raped, and sold like cattle and weren't considered human during the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It wasn't until 1865 that my ancestors in Galveston, Texas received the news of freedom. So one may think, what is Independence Day to a people who still weren't free? It's amusing to me that we have American history and African American history as if we haven't contributed to this nation's history as one. It's up to us to help heal, repair, and rebuild this beautiful county. I advise Union County Board of Education to work together in solidarity and honor a holiday we can all celebrate. I've contacted Commissioner Melissa Merrill to see how this can be accomplished, along with a detailed email sent to all board members with suggestions on how it can be adopted to the school calendar. Let's be a beacon of light for other districts and lead the way and not allow politics to overshadow our conscience. It's time to stand in the gap and bridge the divide because that's what real patriots do. Thank you.
I would like to second what Ms. Campbell said about Juneteenth. I think that would be a very appropriate thing for UCPS to celebrate. So I thought that was a wonderful speech. So thank you for that, Selena. I didn't prepare a speech today, as usual. Gary's missing his moment. I was going to thank him. He's the only one that's spoken out about the voucher program. And this, to be fair to Gary and give him credit where credit is due, this is the second time he has spoken out about this in this room. He earlier this year spoke out about what was going on overall with the funding and how that is going to have horrendous effects for many, many years to come, and how we really need to do something about this. What very much concerns me is that I don't think that the rest of the board understands that the role that they have to play in this, in turning around what is going on right now with the massive transfer of wealth between from the public sector into the private sector. So HB 823 will take over $500 million from the surplus and put that into private schools. That's for just next year. And I think the year after that, it gets to $1 billion. This is not normal. These are not normal times for a school board member. You're serving as a school board member at the time when the party in power is dismantling public education. it is on you to speak out about what's going on, because you're not going to change those legislators' minds. It's going to be all of us. And your role is to help people understand what is happening so we can all together tell them, no, you're not going to defund our public schools. Our public schools deserve to be fully funded, and they're a very important part of our society. Pumping all that money into the private schools means that our teachers and our educators and our staff don't get paid properly. And that is why we're losing so many of those staff members and those teachers. And it's just really sad to see it. And you guys really should be making resolutions, speaking out publicly like many other school boards across North Carolina are doing right now. And I applaud Gary because at least he gets it. He gets that he has a role to play. And I hope that the rest of you can also understand that you have a role to play in speaking to the public about what is going on. Because when you stay silent, you're complicit, especially when you're part of the party that's doing it.
Hello, everyone. I was also going to thank Gary, which he's still, I'm sure he'll watch it, so it's all worth it. So I appreciate everything that he said last time. I thought standing up and calling out the legislators about funding public education and really understanding how detrimental vouchers are to public education is really important. So again, I just wanted to bring a few things up. That legislation goes back in session tomorrow. So tonight would be a great chance when you go, since it'll be a short meeting, to go and write to all our legislators and tell them to please do not fund the rest of the voucher program this year. Because again, it's $463 million, which is to fund the wealthy end of the voucher program. Because the lower funded, or the lower kids that have already been given the vouchers, they're students that desperately need it. This $463 million is to cover the wealthy vouchers, which are families that make over $250,000 a year. Those families can afford private school if they want to send their kids to a Christian private school. Stop taking it out of public education. So I think it would be really great if we could publicly, again, stand up for education, because that's what you're elected for. And again, if you do it, then the community does it, and then together we all work as one, as opposed to us just coming up here and begging you guys to do it, and then it doesn't, and then the community finds out in a year and a half that their schools have to close because there's no money. And that's exactly what's happening. And like she said, $1 billion next year goes to vouchers. There's 2 schools in Monroe currently that get $2.3 million of voucher money that could pay for our teachers. Also, the legislators did not fund the budget. They couldn't decide between Senate and House. They couldn't come to terms of what the budget was going to be. So right now is our chance, because once they do this, the money's gone. It's just gone. So that's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. And most of it is because the Senate didn't want to give our teachers a raise. In that budget was a 4.4% raise for our teachers. That right now is not funded. So on top of what you guys put, and hopefully, again, the county commissioners have not, I don't know how much their stipend is. I couldn't find that in any of the paperwork. But that's not enough to keep the 88 teachers that just left this month, on top of the 137 from last month, and on and on. So we really need to keep our educators in Union County, because we love Union County. We love that we're one of the best districts in the state. But if we don't have the teachers, then we don't have the best district anymore. So thank you, and happy July.
I need a motion to approve the minutes from the June 4th meeting. All in favor? Aye. Everybody? 8-0, thank you. Next up, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. The superintendent's report.
I do not have a report this evening.
Awesome.
Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, next up is policies and administrative guidelines for review.
Yes, good evening, members of the board. You have 3 policies for review this evening, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to try and answer them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up is board comments. Anyone?
Madam Chair.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to say that we are excited that all of our kids are participating in a lot of great opportunities this summer. The book bus is traveling, and some of our kids at our summer camp are looking to go to, I think it's the Old Armory tomorrow, where they will be participating in those great opportunities. And so I'm excited for the safety of all of our kids. All of the comments that were made tonight are greatly appreciated and very much needed for our community to know that it is our goal to support and to keep public school funded because our students are a priority just like other students. And so I support making sure that public school is continuously being funded as well as observing Juneteenth. But I want our county to know that we are a great county. We have a lot of diversity, which makes us, I believe, not just academically, but the #1 county because of our diversity. And it is imperative that we embrace all parts of our county from the east to the west. And so always remember that one person does not speak for the entire county. There were some comments that were made earlier in this year in regards to different things such as indoctrination and somewhat downplaying our South Providence school. And I want to say that those students at South Providence, they graduate and they graduate with a purpose. One of our teachers are here from South Providence. They know he's going to be here. And so they invest a lot of time in making sure that these students get the best opportunity that they can. So just continue to be an encouragement to all of our kids and to our community, and make sure that we understand that it's the diversity that makes us as great as we are. And so I'm excited to continue to work alongside with this board. I will say publicly that this is one of the best years that I feel like I have had working with this board. It has been a great experience. The cohesiveness that we have exemplified this year, in spite of at times we may not always agree, but we have a great level of respect for one another, and it shows, I believe. And I believe that all of us are here because we are focused on making sure that all of our students here in UCPS get the best education and learn how to be a part of this growing world that is changing, that is diverse, and has a lot of great opportunities. So continue to stay safe. We're looking forward to a great year when school starts back in August, and have a great evening coming from me. All right.
Go ahead.
I have a comment. I know that we don't usually agree on things, but I do agree with the voucher, and the funding. You know where I stand politically, obviously, y'all know, but, and I don't shy away from that ever, and I never will. However, I do agree that our funding for our schools, does need to stay within our public schools. I do very much agree on that because that is important. It's very necessary. We need to keep our teachers, and I feel for them because I do want to make sure our teachers get paid what they need to get paid. That's important. And like I've always said, and I've always stood my ground on that I'm a product of public education. I've always, since I was born, so growing up in New York and everything. So I do 100% agree on that. And like I said, I will always fight for our teachers and our staff and everything. So anything I can do to help with that, I will fight for that and to try to help with that. So, but I do agree with you on that. So, but thank you. And yes, I do. This board is great, and we have a great group of people here. And I know I make John laugh a lot on that end, but anyway, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful summer. I know I am, and it's hot and whatever, but have a great summer and see y'all in the fall.
Anybody else? Jimmy?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank my two colleagues for their prior comments. And it has been a banner year. Where are we going?
You can have.
Get this dud away from me.
Hey, this one's not good either.
Are you working? Can y'all hear me? All right. Two things. Well, some things. The first is I want to appreciate the involvement of the parents in Union County. We've come a long way, and no one is going to agree on everything, but I look forward to the public comments. I look because it gives me a chance to hear what the people have to say. I've based a lot of votes on public comments. Whether I agree or don't agree, I appreciate the fact that you come and that you speak out. One of our board members got her start from public comments. Need I digress on that? Very colorful comments, I might add. But the second thing I wanted to talk about is we do congratulate our students, our teachers, and our faculty. But there's a group of people that help this train called Team UCPS move. And every meeting, our chair says, if you have any questions from our staff, they're seated to her left. And I want to take a moment to thank them because they are the ones that help our superintendent. They run massive departments. They supervise an ungodly amount of people, and they are working even when a lot of us are home taking a break. And so I want to say to senior staff that you are truly appreciated. I shake your hand and I make sure wherever we are out in public, I always find you and I always speak to you because I understand what it is to run such a huge organization and to help this man two over from my left get the job done. So just know that you are appreciated. You are not just partially on a plate. You are the meal, and we appreciate you.